What's up, guys? So this will be part of the devotional series that Cal and I are doing. Today's going to be a little different for me. I really feel like God has been just putting something on my heart to share, and He's just been wrecking me in this time. And so usually we would be going through Acts, and so I think Cal will be doing Acts chapter 14, and I should be doing Acts 15. I will maybe do it later in the week, or I might just save it till next week. But I really just want to just sit with you guys kind of like really raw right now, something that God's teaching me. So we're going to be in Hosea. And Hosea is all about like Israel's unfaithfulness, but God's faithfulness, right? Like this kind of all of the prophets and all of the Old Testament and the Bible talks about this. But I'd like to just kind of go through where God's been talking to me. And so starting in chapter 2, like I just see that Israel's like unfaithful, and God's saddened, and He says that there's no mercy on them because they're not His people. Like they've chosen not to be His people. And then later in chapter 2, like the Lord just shows His mercy on Israel, His faithfulness. And in verse 16 to the end, He says, and in that day, in this day that's coming, like this day that's coming, declares the Lord, you will call me my husband, and no longer will you call me my Baal. For I will remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, and they shall be remembered by name no more. And I will make for them a covenant on that day with the beasts of the field and the birds of the heavens and the creeping things on the ground, and I will abolish the bow and the sword and the war from the land. And I will make you lie down in safety, and I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in steadfast love and in mercy. I will betroth you to me in faithfulness. And I think this is just beautiful. And at the end He says, and you shall know the Lord. Like on that day, you will know me. He says, on that day, I will give mercy to you. And on that day, you will be called my people, and you will call me my God. But Israel, as Hosea, kind of the imagery of Hosea, like Israel is still a whore. Like she still is unfaithful and is not steadfast. And so in chapter 4, the Lord accuses Israel. In chapter 5, He is talking about the punishment and judgment that's coming for Israel and Judah. And at the end of chapter 5, He's like, I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna return to my place. I'm leaving Israel. I'm leaving my people until they acknowledge their guilt and seek my face, and in their distress earnestly seek me. Then in chapter 6, Hosea is speaking, and he says, come, let us return to the Lord, for He has torn us, that He may heal us. He has struck us down, and He will bind us up. After 2 days He will revive us. On the third day He will raise us up, that we may live before Him. Let us know. Let us press on to know the Lord. His going out is sure as the dawn. He will come to us as the showers, as the spring rains that water the earth. So the Lord is like, I'm going away because like you are not my people. I'm no longer with you. Not until you seek me, like until you really like seek me. And so then Hosea in the next chapter is like, let's seek God. Like, let's return to the Lord. He's going to heal us, and He's going to bind us up. And after 2 days, He's going to revive us. And on the third day, He will raise us up that we may live before him. And then this next line has just been wrecking me. And he says, let us know. Let us press on to know the Lord. Because he's faithful, right? Like, the Lord is faithful. He says that his going out is sure as the dawn. He will come to us as the showers, like as the spring rains that water the earth. I don't know about wherever you guys are in Indiana or Colorado or Missouri or Illinois or whatever, but like in Tennessee, it is raining. Like, it's legit raining all the time. And the spring rains are something that always comes. Like, it always comes. It's faithful. It's always there. It will happen. But not only is it faithful and will it happen, but the spring rain gives life. And the Lord has promised us life, that he will raise us up on the third day. And we all, when we hear he's going to raise us up on the third day, we all think Jesus, right? But a lot of people didn't think Jesus. And until Jesus literally dies and is raised, people still don't get it. And I beg to say that we still don't get it. In Luke chapter 24, it's on the road to Emmaus. Jesus is talking to these two guys. And it's so funny because they're literally talking to him about himself. And they have this moment where Jesus is teaching them. And he says this in verse 27. And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. And I can imagine Jesus thinking back to Hosea chapter 6 and having that memorized. And saying, do you guys remember when Hosea said, come, let us return to the Lord, because after 2 days he's going to revive us. He's going to raise us up on the third day. It's that's me. That's me. Jesus died. He came, God in all of his faithfulness came and lived and died, accepting all of the wrath that Israel deserved, all of this punishment that God's talking about in chapter 5, the punishment of all creation. He dies and is resurrected. But why? Why? Is it just to cancel out our sins? That way we can feel better about ourselves? Is it just so that way what? And I think what Hosea says is spot on. He says, on the third day he will raise us up, so that way we may live before him. Let us know. Let us press on to know the Lord. I don't know about you guys, but as I have been sitting in isolation and hearing all of the fear and the panic and the distress of people who are literally dying, I have been so afraid. I have wept. I have trembled. I have been depressed. All of those things. And I remember the first couple weeks just being terrified of death. And I have just had to like fall on my knees and ask the Lord, like, why? Why am I afraid? Like, why am I so afraid? And I feel like it's because I don't really know the Lord. Like, I don't really know God. I came to Johnson for a reason. Like, I came to Johnson because I wanted to know God. But, like, I have been a whore. Like, as funny as that sounds, I have been a whore. Like, I have pursued so many other things. And don't say that as like a Christian-ese, like, preacher type thing. Like, I have literally been unfaithful to God in so many ways. Like, in Ultimate Frisbee, when I first came here, I just wanted to be known. Like, I just wanted people to know me and like me. I didn't want to know God. I got into a relationship, and there's been so many times in my relationship with Lydia that I've made her my God. Like, I have been a whore. And in like uncommon community, like, what makes uncommon community uncommon? Is it because we like go to cookout at 12 a.m.? Like, yeah, that's uncommon, but like, it's uncommon because we're all seeking to know the Lord. Are we really doing that? Like, I have not done that here. And I've sat in an isolated room for the last 2 weeks. And I've asked myself, like, do I really know the Lord? Have I really been seeking His face? Because if I did, I don't think that I would be afraid of death, because I would know the one who has given me life. I would know the one who has restored and redeemed all things, and who has revived me on the third day, and who loves me. And when Hosea says, let us press on to know the Lord, he is pointing towards Jesus. Like, and he probably doesn't even know it. And Jesus is pointing to himself in Luke chapter whatever it was, and he's saying, like, if you want to know the Lord, like, if you really want to know me, like, if you really want to know the Lord, like, look at Jesus. Like, seek Jesus. Know Jesus. And you will know God. Because God showed himself ultimately through his incarnation, and like showed in the most extravagant way his love and his grace and his peace and his justice and his injustice, in that we deserve death, and yet I'm so afraid of it. And God's like, you don't have to be afraid. Like, you don't have to be afraid. And maybe, like, for you, it's not I'm afraid of death. It's like, man, there's so many things that are thrown off right now. I'm afraid of the future, like an internship or a job, or, dude, it's a bummer that we don't have graduation. Maybe you're just like pissed. And there's so many things that we're just like, we're dwelling on, and like, we just want people to know, like, Braden told me a story about the last time that he went down to Houseless. And there's this guy there that they know, and he was telling them why it's so sad that this might be the last time that he comes down there. And you'll have to ask Braden to tell the story, because he tells it way better than I'm paraphrasing right now. But the guy looks at him and he's like, I hear no bad news. I hear no bad news. And I've been dwelling on that, and Braden can tell you what that guy said. But I've been dwelling on that, and guys, when we truly know the Lord, we have been given good news. Like, we've been given really good news. And anything that this world throws at us, a world pandemic, like missing an internship, death, like whatever it is, in light of the good news that Jesus has given us through himself, that he has come and now we can know, like we can really know God. In light of that, there is no bad news. And we are to be people of good news in this time when everyone else is dwelling on bad news. I have not seen peace or joy or contentment or love in my heart in a hot minute. And the reason is because I have not seen God. Like, I have not sought after God's face and really known who God is. And so in this time of quarantine, as we're all like away from each other and God is like the only thing that we have, my plea to you guys is like, come. Let us return to the Lord. Let us know. Let us press on to know God. That's what it's all about. And we've missed it before, and we're probably going to miss it again. But I pray that every time we miss it again, we seek to return to the Lord and really know him. I will be praying for that for you guys, and please be praying that for me. As God's been teaching me this, it has been so hard. Like, it's a daily battle, and I could really use your prayers. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm tired. I'm tired of seeking after other things and not really knowing God, like not having the sure hope and joy and love and peace that I know that God has given me. So please be praying for me, because I really want to know God. I love you all. I know this message was kind of like raw and rough, and I probably stumbled in a lot of ways, and I probably said like a billion times. Thank you for bearing with me. I pray and I hope that you guys may seek and just know God. Like, that's all it's about. Like, it's not about us. It's not about anything else. And may that truly build uncommon community right now. Like, may it be what it was meant to be, you know? Yeah. All right. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm going to figure out how to do like gaming videos. I'm going to post one of those for you guys. It's going to be really funny. But it probably won't be. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm praying for you. May the peace of the Lord be with you. And I'll see you later.